Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Open CPD Ask Us Anything question and answer session. We run these sessions every Wednesday morning, and thank you very much if you decided to join us today. Drop in and ask questions. While people are still joining, we've got a couple of minutes, so I'm going to use that time to tell you a little bit about who Open CPD are, what we do, and how we can support you in providing verifiable, auditable, globally accepted CPD accredited CPD certificates with just a couple of clicks on our platform. So first of all, my name is Marta. I'm the founder and CEO of Open CPD, and I've got the lovely Emily who joined me today to help me get through this webinar. So please type your questions into the chat. She will be reading them, and we can take them one at a time. If you need more time, there is always more time. At the end of this webinar, you will receive this recording, and there will be an option to book in a one-to-one. We very much encourage it. This is a free service. We love to help people get onto the platform and issue CPD certificates for your excellent training. We want your training to shine. So let us know if you need a chat. We're very happy to do that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do and how we do this. First of all, Open CPD is a platform. So when we say what we do and we issue certificates, we do this via a self-service portal. In fact, you will be issuing your certificates, you will be defining your aim, skills, and outcomes, and you will be able to issue your own verifiable certificates for your own training course. Why do we do it the way we do it? Because it gives you flexibility. There is no need to submit your course material. We're not going to review your intellectual property. In many ways, how could we? You are the subject matter expert, not us. But what we will help you to make sure that you fit into the CPD structure, which is every lifelong learning training event needs to have clearly identifiable aim, skills, and outcomes. And that's what we focus on. That's what we will help you provide. So as long as you have clearly identifiable aim, skills, and outcomes, your training course, event, webinar, conference, workshop, coaching session is suitable for CPD accreditation. The way you do it is you sign up on our website. We will give you support in how to create your profile, how to create your courses profile. In fact, I will show you a quick walkthrough in a second. But the important thing is you are in control. We are here to help you. We're not going to tell you how to do things, but we make sure that everything you do is published in one learning record, which will be your learning record and your trainee's learning record, which will have all the relevant details incorporated in it. So that document can be shared, it can be put onto people's LinkedIn, it can be taken to a recruiter or HR manager, because they will be able to assess the validity and the value of your CPD offering. And why should you do that? Why should you bother? I mean, sometimes I get asked, I was like, I could do that myself. I could just create certificates in Canva, or maybe my learning management system does that. Yes, it does. It will create one page, which usually looks something like this. However, the problem with those the certificates is simply they're not very meaningful. So if you're an HR manager or a recruiter and you wanted to verify or wanted to understand what was the learning content, it's very difficult to do. And this is where we differ from other people. What we do is we bake everything into a single document. Your certificate that you issue for the training will incorporate the details of the event. It will incorporate your identity, who you are, and what this, how to find you, because this is really important. This is not about Open CPD. This is about you and your training. We have a page about the trainee, which is often not much more than their email address. Now, if you have for example, documents, a course transcript or some other material like a short video, that can also be incorporated within the certificate. So again, it becomes auditable and verifiable. And finally, we have a short page that explains about the about the verification. Every certificate we issue is unique and verifiable. They will each have a certificate number, which can then be verified on our website, and it makes it tamper-proof. So this is all about us at Open CPD. I'm just going to do like 2 minutes to run through the platform. So this is what we do. I'm just going to show you very quickly how we do this, and then I'm going to hand over to Emily to ask me the questions that I can see there are some questions coming through in the chat. Excellent, keep them coming. I'll answer them in a minute. So as I said, it's a self-service platform. The way we work, it's really important that we give you the flexibility and the control. So obviously you will have a user ID and password to log in. And with that, you are able to create additional users. So it's not just one person. If you have more than one person handling the account, there is a way of giving them access as well. But the important thing is we help you create whatever is necessary. So the first thing is you will have a company page where you will be adding your company details, your social media availability, your phone number, where you are in the world. And that is going to be the record that is printed on every certificate. In fact, we also provide a certificate of CPD membership for yourselves to evidence your commitment to the CPD standards. And again, that will be traceable back to your profile and your details. So that's the first step. The second step is really simple, because for every learning event, the value of CPD, continued professional development and lifelong learning, is about having very clearly identified learning aims, what their training was for. You will have transferred some skills, so we need to tell the world what those skills are, and you have achieved specific outcomes. So for every learning event to be CPD-able, you need to identify aims, skills, and outcomes. If you don't know how to do this, I mean, most training providers, experienced training providers, don't need our help. But if you do, again, we have an excellent AI chatbot helping you doing that. We also have a lot of material, and we're here to help. So ask us, drop us a quick email, jump on a call. We support many different people in many different industries. We've seen excellent ways of identifying aim, skills, and outcomes. We're very happy to help. So what you need to do is obviously give your course a title. You need to fill in all the other details. The question we get asked almost every single time: how do you know how many hours to give? How many is it? First of all, is it points or is it hours? Well, it's both. What you really need to count is the number of active hours of learning. So if you imagine you have a morning session that probably includes some introductions, some coffee, maybe a bit of chat afterwards. That's not exactly active learning. So if you do, I don't know, 9 o'clock till, or 9:30 till 11:30, that is probably pure learning, and that would be 2 hours. We can again help you work through how many hours, and the hours are the same as points. So 1 hour is 1 point, 1 point is 1 hour. The important thing is it needs to be active learning. And if your trainees do some independent work, so for example, they work on a project or need to do some background reading or whatever it is, that's also part of the active learning. So you also need to count that. So with that, all you need to do is literally run through the fields. Again, we provide you support if you need anything, but it tends to be fairly straightforward. The beauty of this is that you can have as many as you want. You're not limited to one course. Some of your courses are shorter, longer, flexible. You can create variants very easily. You can duplicate a course and change just some of the details. So you can have like a 2-day course and you have like a 1-day version. Very, very easy. We tell you all about how to do that. And finally, when it comes to issuing the certificates, your courses are already there. You need to enter a couple of fields. The most important one is the name of the trainee. And if you have their email address, enter the email address as well, because the system will deliver the certificates to them. And we can do this with a single one, or we can do it in bulk. And this is where I stop and I hand it over to you, to your questions. Emily, do we have any questions coming through?
Hello. Yeah, we've got quite a few good questions actually. So first one, how does Open CPD differ from traditional CPD accreditation providers?
Oh, thank you very much. That's an excellent question, and I sort of glossed over it a little bit. So the important thing is that there are, especially in the UK, but in some countries as well, there are companies that will provide you some sort of a CPD accreditation. The first thing is very important to understand that there is no CPD authority or regulator in the UK. In fact, very, very few countries have it in the world. If you're in one of those countries, ask us. Every country is different, and we can say in your country, is everything regulated or not? Because we can only support you if there is no central regulation. In the UK, there is no central regulation. So those CPD companies, certificate companies, will take your training material. They will revise it, help you fit into the aim, skills and outcomes. But in fairness, the only thing they can really comment on is, are you fitting into the right structure, into having clearly identifiable aim, skills and outcomes? What we say is you don't actually need them, because in your certificates, you cannot publish a certificate without clearly identifiable aim, skills and outcomes. If necessary, we can help you prepare them. But basically what we do is cut out the middleman. We think that you should be in charge, you should have the flexibility. Also, at the same time, it's very important to understand you, as the training provider, will be identified. You are issuing the certificate, not Open CPD. We just give you the tools to do that. So it's really important that what you do has to be good quality, but we can't check. We won't check because we can't check, because you are the subject matter expert. So this is how we differ from many traditional CPD accreditation providers. We built a system that's purpose-built, and because of that, we are much, much more flexible, we are faster and cost-effective.
Lovely. The second one, what counts as CPD and how do I know if my training is suitable?
Oh, that's an excellent question, because there is a huge variety of learning type opportunities, and we see a huge proliferation of new types of content. So obviously there are, first of all, there are the courses, events, which are relatively straightforward, because you know that you are training somebody to do something. But we have the important thing about lifelong learning now, it doesn't fit into one box, and there are so many different opportunities to acquire learning. So you need to think a little bit outside the box. So for example, if you go into our when you create a course or a learning event, we actually allow people to use many, many different types of delivery. You know, it could be obviously the traditionally face-to-face, in person, you know, classroom kind or workshop kind of thing. Obviously online, we now, a lot of people do a lot of learning via webinars, lunch and learns. It can be a conference. Interesting to note, conferences also work, for example, for speakers, because if you're running a conference, your speakers will appreciate getting a certificate of appreciation, because that shows that they had provided knowledge, they had prepared. Obviously, they're not attending like got a 3-day conference and you talk for an hour. Obviously, they're not there for the conference, but it's actually could well be quite important for them for their own professional development, because they are now transferring knowledge. So the variety are quite extensive. There is also opportunity to record self-guided learning. So, for example, you might be asking as part of your training, or, you know, for example, you're an employer and you want your your employees to do some independent learning. You can recognize that, and you can also have a new type of phenomenon, which is very, very exciting. And we have a couple of excellent case studies. If you're interested in that, let us know. We have assessment of prior learning. So basically, essentially, somebody learned to be a good baker, or is really excellent in food hygiene, but they didn't go through formal training. But if you are, for example, an expert on this, or you're a training provider, you are able to assess. It's like, we don't know how Marta learned these skills, but she's got them now. And I know she's got them, so we can recognize them. So what is nowadays a training event, or a CPD-able event? As long as it has a learning outcome, it is CPD-able. So
nice. So that actually flows on really nice to the next question that's here, and it says, what type of training can I accredit? So that's online.
Online, we do a lot of online. A lot of learning is happening online. We encourage you to experiment. So, for example, we have trainers that, because especially the learning space is changing very fast. So you can have different variants of your training. Obviously, when you promote your training or you promote your event, you want to make sure it's part of your offer. It's part of, because you will be able to recognize anything, but some will be more popular than another one. One form is better. It depends on the setting. It depends on the trainee. So the important thing is you try it. There is a tool for that. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't cost you anything. So we only charge, I forgot to mention that, but we only charge by certificate issue. So if your course is not very popular, you've chosen a format that doesn't work, okay? You want to do online training for, I don't know, cooking course for grandmas online. Probably not the most, suitable delivery mechanism. That's fine, you can try that and see if it works.
Okay, that's good to know, isn't it? It's good to share that. And one here, how do you ensure credibility if there are no external approval process?
Yes, again, we get asked about that quite a lot, and that's actually quite important, especially for cross-border recognition, because people move about, and you might have gone to an event or a conference or a training in another country. Now, the problem is what is controlled, regulated is very finite, and we don't operate in that space. So if you are training surgeons and you want your training to be recognized by the Royal College of Surgeons, Open CPD is the wrong tool for you. We can still help you produce the right quality, do the admin side of things, but because we don't provide the assessment, you as the training delivery organization, you are responsible. And that is really important, because at every step, you will be identified that you have delivered those aim skills and outcomes. Now, that's really important, because basically the process now of people assessing the validity of CPD is all in relevance and reception. So it's not so much who issued it, because people can issue anything, but is it relevant to that person, to their professional development? So, for example, you can go, if you're an accountant and you go on a surgical training, the surgical training will be validated by the Royal College of Surgeons, but it's not going to be relevant to you because you're an accountant. So it's really important that the assessment actually comes at the receiving end when the trainee goes for their, annual review or revalidation or whatever it is. The person assessing their competence will be looking at the certificate, but it's not necessarily going to say you as a company need to be certified. You need to do what you say. You will provide the evidence that we have transferred this training to this person, and here is the evidence.
Okay. Last one. How much does it cost to use Open CPD?
Yes, the perennial question, of course, how much? So we're very, very cost effective. I would say that, obviously, it's the platform we built for that, but we built the platform for scale and for ease of use. So the cheapest, simplest package you can start with is currently £50, and we charge in UK pounds, so it's like about $70 in different countries. We use a payment provider called Stripe. It will convert it, but literally you pay £50, and for that you get 25 certificates or 25 credits. Okay, you use them, so that means a certificate at the moment costs £2 per certificate. But you don't need to have a huge outlay. You don't need to have an annual subscription. Your certificates are valid for a year. You can use them anytime you want. And in fact, even if you don't use them, £50 to get the value is already a good way to start. Now, the next step is that you want to make sure that you don't run out of credit. There are two different ways of doing it. One is that you can keep topping up. So I'm about to run a course. I have 3 certificates left. I need another 25. Buy another 25. Top up, very simple, pay as you go. As long as you have credit in the system. But then obviously for regular training providers, in fact, large scale training providers, we start providing subscription packages. Again, make sure that they can be combined. So somebody might be on a professional certificate. You will find the current pricing on our website. It's opencpd.com/pricing. But the important thing is, as long as you have credits in the system, you can issue certificates. How much an individual certificate costs and how much the credit packages cost, because you have to buy them as packages. You can't buy them one at a time. But they're small packages. You buy 30 or buy 50 or whatever. Depends on already what subscription you're on. And if you're a large company, so suddenly you look at our website and you're saying, well, listen, I issue thousands a month. Not a problem. They're just not on the website. We will do a bespoke package. It varies. Basically, the more you use it, it literally will cost pennies. So yeah, that was a whistle stop tour of Open CPD. Anything else, Emily? Is anything else coming through?
No, that's it. That's all the questions for now. Thanks, Marta.
Well, wonderful. So thank you very much for attending today's whistle stop tour and the Q&A. I think today we had the best questions ever. I hope I'm going to have the same on the next webinar as well. So looking forward to seeing you either as a one-to-one or maybe as a customer that we can support with onboarding, and you will receive a copy of this webinar in the email and the follow-ups. Thank you very much.